What is up, Brah? So in this video, I'm hitting you with everything from disgusting spawn peaks, parkour rat spots, across the map wallbangs, free nade kills, new season, new operator, new Raur tech that's gonna blow the minds of your enemies, and the craziest tricks that you all submitted in my Discord. If you want to submit one, head over there. We have no time to waste. We got ranked games to play. It's new season launch day, so sit back and enjoy. Raur plus Thermite allows you to open up reinforced and electrified walls and hatches from the other side of them, and it's one of the best combos that we've ever had added to the game in years. For example, if you want to get the admin hatch on bank, you can place a dom panel on this doorway, and then the Thermite will crouch and then place his Thermite charge on the far right. This will blast the hatch open even if there's a Cade on it. This was originally found by Fett, and then Royal Penguin helped me go on every single map to find the best places to do this, and that's what you're gonna see here. This will work on literally every single map, and these are the best ones so far. Now this next tip is from the sponsor of this video, Turtle Beach, and their new headset, the Stealth 700 Gen 3. I've now been testing out the Stealth 700 Gen 3 for 2 weeks, and as soon as I opened it up, I could tell that the build quality and comfort was insane. I even tested this out in a custom game while looking for hiding spots that lasted for 4 hours, and the memory foam cushions they use on here were comfortable the entire time without getting cauliflower ears like you're a pro wrestler or like how other headsets do. On top of that, the sound clarity matches the comfort quality with the patented 60mm Eclipse dual drivers that deliver precision and deep bass. This is also literally the largest driver in its class. This headset truly has it all with an exceptional microphone.
Like, this is what the mic sounds like. I'm just talking normally versus my like $600 mic with Go XLR setup. It's really good.
It has an 80-hour battery life and even crossplay with a dual USB, so that means that with a simple touch of a button you can switch between your favorite console or PC without having to move transmitters or connect cables. This headset is insane. I know you'll like it too, since everyone that plays Siege knows how important sounds are, so if you want to check it out, I have it linked down below. Really helps support the channel, and don't forget, code BRAH is going to save you 10% on everything Turtle Beach. Another combo you can do with Raur is using them with drones or having a friend drone up for you when you are ready to shoot. Because when you drive a drone next to a dom panel, it's going to lift the bottom up slightly, so we're going to take that a step further and do this in places where the operator can be lower than the dom panel so that you can see really far in. The defender is not going to be able to see you from the angle because they are going to be higher than you. Flank watching from the bar on Clubhouse is one idea. Attacking the garage on bank is another, because you can hold a crazy long line of sight all while it's a one-way angle since you're lower than them, and so even if the defender's prone, they're not going to be able to see you, or it's going to at least be much harder for them to see you versus you seeing them. This cafe one is also a pretty cool idea, and it's going to allow you to see Pixel either from white stairs or from the rappel, and yeah, you get the idea behind it. It's going to work on literally, again, every single map, and it's a fun one to experiment with while it's all fresh. If you're on defense, you can take the same idea, and while you won't be able to customize where the dom panels are, it can be really unexpected to the attackers to have their own gadgets lift up and betray them in a way. So don't forget, you can do this with either hacked Mozzie drones and even Echo's yokai drones. So Echo is kind of in a way a direct counter to Raur, or at least an op that can blend really well with her even if she's on the opposite team. There's this insane Ying Candela flash that you can throw that combos with pushing the cocktail balcony window below you really well. If you rappel up the terrace wall and push your operator to the top right, you can line up your crosshairs between these two clouds. You literally just put the center of your crosshair on that blue sky gap that is between the two clouds, and when you throw the Candela, it's basically like a pool trick shot. It's gonna bounce off of the stacked up AC units and roll all the way to the cocktail lounge. This has the ability to blind anybody that's playing by the bomb, that's crouching by the counters, or even sometimes people like to play a mirror here on the wall looking underneath the skylight. It's gonna flash anybody that's playing in this general area, and it looks wild, but it's really easy to do. So shout out to Pendant for this scientific perfected lineup for this one. One thing you do need to keep in mind with Raur is if you're in a situation on a map where there are multiple doorways in a row, if you ADS with Raur's gadget out, the dom launcher, that is what is going to make you able to shoot the further door away from you. It can get kind of confusing because if you're trying to shoot a further door, you have to peek like really close on the front door. But if you are just holding your ADS button, you can actually swing the doorway and shoot the further doorway a lot quicker. So make sure you're doing that. Don't get caught with your pants down, standing in the middle of a doorway trying to lock onto a specific door. A simple spawn peek that's underrated is simply vaulting out of the classroom about 5 seconds after the round starts and shooting towards the gate. Most times attackers are going to be either by the gate checking the door for spawn peeks, or they're going to have pushed up further where they're probably pre-firing the default cam from the white van or even starting to drone. Obviously be on the lookout for drones before going for this, but if you can get away with prepping the window correctly so that it doesn't make too much noise when you jump out, you're going to get a lot of kills with it. In the FaZe vs Furia game, we saw the attackers do something I didn't even know was possible, and it's rolling Ying Candelas up staircases. For some reason, Candelas can roll upstairs with no problem and not get stuck on anything. You can use this in a lot of situations, but the clubhouse catwalk is one of the main situations that I can think of because there's always going to be a person that's holding rafters. The range on Ying Candelas is also insanely large, and even if somebody is holding rafters from like halfway down, they're still going to get flashed. In the Pro League game, we saw the pro team pull this off and take control perfectly, so figured it would be cool to include here so you can use it in your next game as well. There's this free kill nade spot on border if you rappel up the south wall and push yourself all the way to the top right. You simply just need to put your crosshairs on this piece of barbed wire that goes up to the metal bar, and since this nade has a pretty far distance to fly, it's gonna cook while it's in the air and then it's gonna detonate just about a second after landing. This nade is literally gonna fly through the barbed wire, through the fountain skylight, and then over the archives wall that's reinforced, and it's going to smack the ankles of anybody that's playing by the bomb. You can combo this with a friend that's shooting out the archives window, and defenders are going to be going back and forth to challenge the window, take cover on the bomb, or rotate in this general area. You're going to have a really good chance of getting a free kill. On Night Haven Labs, there's a way to get onto the forklift in the control room hall, and if you choose this bomb site, the bomb is literally going to spawn in the room that's next to you. All you need to do is place a shield that's in the middle but kind of slightly towards the front of the forklift, and then you're going to get a vault prompt right in the middle into the chair. From there, you're forklift certified and you can just go to the seat, look up at the sky, back up, and vault on top. Make sure you don't go over the shield or else you are going to break the shield, and when the shield breaks, it's going to cancel your vault prompt, so be careful of that. After that, you can get crazy angles onto the stairs, to the entry, to any of the windows that are on the west, and it's just so random, nobody's going to actually have their crosshairs up here that's ready to fight you. One rare counter to Raur that you should be aware of is mute jamming them from above. Now, you can place a mute jammer perfectly center on the same level as the DOM panel, and that radius will reach up to be able to jam and retract the DOM panel, but it's pretty risky. You're going to risk getting caught with your pants down while the DOM panel is just going up, and then you're just standing right in the center of a doorway. So be aware of that, and just be aware. Another option is you can mute jam them from above. It is super situational, but it's a really cool interaction that I didn't see anybody else mentioning. There's this angle on Consulate that goes across the map from admin office on the east all the way to the console office on the west. Defenders play on this desk so often, especially if you go and you have a teammate that's playing on that console office window rappel. There is definitely going to be somebody that's on this desk. Like, we've all been in that situation before, but then you and the rest of the team, you guys can go and you take admin, do a top take, and it literally just takes an additional 3 seconds to jump on this desk and wallbang this spot to see if you get a free kill or not. On Oregon, there's this pre-fire into trophy that takes like 4 seconds to do that you should start trying at the start of your rounds. When defenders choose upstairs in the bedroom, the trophy room becomes a very high traffic area even after the round starts because people are finishing site setups, rotates, being wild with pre-firing the doors for no reason at all, and if they do happen to cross this area, they are going to catch a stray all the way from your construction spawn. You just need to vault up on top of the construction vehicle and then kind of push north into it. Just be careful because if you go too far left, you will slip off. But I've been liking a lot of these random pre-fires a lot lately. I'm going to be really curious to see if these start getting blocked in upcoming patches. There's an interesting building design detail in the games room, and it's right where the default plant is. For some reason, the walls don't perfectly align here. I'm not sure if it's because there's a thickness difference on that top layer. Who knows? But what I do know is that it causes this gap to be here, so you can either leave C4s below or even shoot through it at times. I don't really like shooting through it because it's literally just a few pixels. It's actually really hard to full auto through, but it is enough for the debris and explosion to carry carry over onto the planter above. So say you're doing like a late roam or just roaming in general and they push really fast in there. This C4 is a crazy one to know about. On Cafe, if you go into the southeast corner of Freezer, you can get this pixel into the bakery once the attackers open it up. And if you have a dark headgear on, you are going to be so hard to see from the attacker's point of view. This is one of the smallest pixel peaks that we've ever done on the channel. Like, I don't even know if this counts as a pixel peak. It's more like a molecule peak. But if you do know that your Freezer side is safe and attackers are committing to the bakery wall, this is a really funny spot to go and check to see if you can get a free kill. In Siege, there are certain soft walls, windows, and sometimes doors beneath reinforced walls that have utility on them, and if you place simple breach charges as far up on them as you can, when you detonate the breach charge, the explosion is actually large enough to destroy utility above. This one here on Skyscraper is the perfect example because it's just lined up really well, and this happens in games a lot too. But overall, this is something you can be on the lookout for in your games. There's so many ways that you can still get really creative, even after 10 years. It's crazy. There's this older C4 spawn peak throw that's finally been perfected, and here it is. On top square, you just need to punch the middle of the left barricade so that you can see between this palm tree here and the roof corner here. If you crouch and walk forward and toss the C4 out of the window at the same time, right at the 56 to 57 second mark between these 2 points, the C4 is going to land by the corner of the building by anybody that's approaching from spawn right as they turn the corner to pre-fire the broken window. The C4 literally explodes on them as they turn the corner to pre-fire the window, so it is perfect timing. This is something that I don't even know if it's intended or not, but if it is, it's literally the coolest, most realistic mechanic Siege has ever had. And it's how you can get smokes to go through the AC air vent system and then enter the attic because the smoke perfectly covers the rotating the kids. You need to roll the smoke canister so that it goes under the AC unit, and Ubisoft either did this on accident or it's the coolest realistic Easter egg ever, because I imagine if you did do this in real life, probably some smoke would go through the air unit, right? Either an amazing accident or a 10,000 IQ play from Ubisoft here. Did you know that you can shoot out the second ace breach charge that drops from the initial breach all from safety? This is another trick that just happened in the recent 6 Invitational games, and basically there's certain walls in Siege that while you're defending, you can actually have cover from on while you are playing really close on the breach. Not a lot of people realize this, but you can actually shoot that second canister before it explodes from the inside of the map. This spot here on layer is a good example because most people on attack are not going to be like playing up close on that breach or far out of the side. They're most likely going to just throw the breach and then watch the windows or flanks. And while this is happening, you can actually move up on the breach, or say you were just bandit tricking, you can cancel that, stand up, stand in safety on that hard wall. And while you're on the side, you're going to have the cover and you are going to be able to actually just wall bang that soft wall section while you look down on it, and you are going to be able to destroy it. You kind of have to guess where the breach is, but it's very obvious. Obviously, just smack in the middle of the opening. This is going to make that hole too small to enter from. Then the attackers are going to either have to rotate or at least use even more utility. But then if they do have to use more utility, that first wall is opened up, so it's going to make it even easier for your team to do things like impact trick or even just swing onto it. So cool trick to keep in mind.